What's going on, my intergalactic pals? And today, suspension happened. We got 3 cards suspended, so now we have a total of 4 cards in total suspended. Um, Seems like this was bound to happen. I feel it was bound to happen. Django was fairly strong, I feel. His ability alone did a lot of things. While he's on the leader side, and then on the unit side, he was fairly strong. Um, So with that being said, the things I really want to talk about is I did not see Triple Dark getting hit personally. I thought Triple Dark was probably going to get like an errata almost, like more card clarification. And to my surprise, that did not happen. Even DJ got a ban, or not a ban, suspend. So DJ suspended, Triple Dark suspended, and Django suspended, and that actually caused the market on a lot of these to crash. I know at one point Triple Dark was like $25-$30. Now they're down to like $6 roughly. Django's showcase dropped down. I believe it's now down to like $250-$300. Probably kind of keep going down. DJs are now at like $5-$6, and those were at a high of, I think, at most 15-12, depending on what version you got. But yeah, I mean, a lot of things. The ban, suspend is kind of an interesting way of going about it. Triple Dark, I was talking to a few of players that I know, and I told them, I said, I think if they fixed it, the wording on it where it just says find a unit that costs 5 or less, play that for free, and not allowing you to pay the additional costs to play those cards. The other cards that kind of did make it more problematic, that would more be restricted on the card. Or that's just me putting out my 2 cents. But it is still a very problematic card because we are in a era of space units or space vehicles, and Triple Dark does pair really well with a lot of them. Do I feel the ban or the suspension was needed? Yes, I think so, because we still see Triple Dark being played with Piet. We still see Triple Dark being played with the new Boba from Jump to Lightspeed. Really, any yellow villainy combo deck will use these cards because you just get access to a very powerful space unit, such as Ruthless Marauder. No, not Ruthless Marauder. Ruthless, I forget, it's a red one. It comes into play, you deal 2 damage to a unit, 2 damage to the base, and when it's defeated, you deal 2 damage to a unit, 2 damage to a base. Even that's very strong. Fet's Fire Spray, I mean, you can cheat out a lot of stuff. I think, again, going back to what I was saying, if the wording was a unit that costs 5 or less, put it into play, kind of making it so like it's almost like a Vader search. You look at the top 10, you find unit or units with a combined cost of 3, and you get to put them into play. Usually you find a unit that costs 3. You never find a 1 or a 2 at the same time. Or you don't really, a lot of people don't play 1 or 2. Or, well, maybe they do, but that's beside the point. I'm just saying you can't do that with Vader. You can't do that with a lot of other cards. I think Triple Dark should have followed that same mentality and search and play. But that's not how it went. So that's where it went to the suspended list. I think that's fine. DJ was, again, one of the few that I did not expect to see getting hit. I haven't really seen a lot of Han Solo control decks like we were in the beginning that ran DJ. Again, that easily, the wording on this could have easily changed, or changed the wording on the Han Solo. I believe in Europe's printing, it's a resource that you own, not a resource you control, which means if you steal a resource with DJ, you cannot defeat it through Han Solo's ability because it's not a resource you own, it's a resource you control. If I'm remembering the wording correctly. I could be wrong. This is all third-hand information that I was getting from other people. That's how it is. I think that would restrict DJ a little bit more, and I don't think people would really play DJ as much if that's another card that is very much one-sided and can really actually throw the game off to a point where it's very difficult to play. I was playing double green Palpatine, and even with my ramping, DJ was still very much a problem for me, even though I had resupply, super laser techs, command. DJ was still very much a threat that I had to always be on the lookout for to make sure that if he either A, steals my resource, I need to be able to respond to it very quickly. If not, then I am essentially dead in the water, or I'm just now behind multiple resources, because we can all get bad draws. Definitely all get bad draws where you don't get your resupplies or your laser techs, and you're just matching one for one, and then bam, DJ comes out, steals a resource, and now you're down a resource and your opponent's up 3 resources. So it's kind of, it does hit very janky. But again, I'm okay with it. And Django as well, with the Juggernaut vehicle that just came out where it deals 1 damage to every unit. Indirect damage, very powerful with him. I think Django, it was a much needed removal for the time being until we get some more units that can handle these kind of situations. I was watching a live stream where they talked to one of the designers. I forget where he lies in the company, but the rules maybe. Anyways, I know he was talking about that they make a unit or they make a leader, there's going to be a counter to that leader or some cards that will interact with that leader to stop that leader, and just people aren't figuring it out. I think the problem, not just that, I think that is a good answer, and that there should always be a response to something doing other things. But the problem, I think the majority, or really it's just a hive mind situation where someone cracks that code to make a really strong, control lockdown deck, such as Django was, and everybody goes, cool, someone made this deck. This deck does a lot of things. It makes me win. That's what I'm going to play. So now we get Django versus Django. Or just like in the last set, we had Boba. Boba was very much, you're either playing Boba, you're either playing Sabine, or you're playing Quinlan? I think so. So it's just, it really is a give and take. I love this game. I want this game to keep thriving and surviving and getting these things fixed. I feel a lot of things need to be rechanged or reworded. I know a lot of these things are made in advance, probably within 9 to 10 months before the next set. I really enjoy this game. I used to be a really big Yu-Gi-Oh player. I used to be a really competitive Magic player, Yu-Gi-Oh player, and I know power creep is a thing. There's always going to be something that's going to be better, shiny, brand new, broken, things like that. But the difference between all those games and this one is that it is a very much back and forth game. I tried to, the best way I explained it to people when they ask me is, how do you play? And I said, it's kind of like almost like chess or checkers in a sense, where I do one thing, then you do one thing, then I do one thing, and you do one thing. And it's very much a back and forth of passing the note or pushing the button. I don't mind intricacies in games, Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh, where trap cards can be activated at any time as long as they've been set for a turn, or now I guess you can activate things from the hand. Same thing with Magic. Oh, your opponent plays a spell and you have an ability that says counter that spell. Then your opponent doesn't get to play the game. It's things like that you have to be already used to. And with Star Wars still fairly being a new game, I'm glad we don't have that, and I hope we kind of don't see that in the future. I very much like the idea of, I'm going to attack. I'm going to play a card. I'm going to play a card. I'm going to activate this ability. I'm going to activate this ability. I'm going to take the initiative token. I'm going to attack because I have a unit that I can attack with. Or I'm going to pass, and then we go to the next phase. You go first, you go next, I go after. It's very much a back and forth game where you're essentially, the best way, I'm rambling, but the best way I can explain this game is we are very much the people in control of the war. We are the commanders telling everybody what to do, where to go, and how to do things. Your leader is like your general. He's your second in command. He's going to do what he needs to do. He's going to go out into the battlefield and fight in the front lines, or pilot that ship to, take the fight to the space. It's very fun. I like that. That's how I see it. But with all that being said, I'm rambling. It's been almost 12 minutes. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you think these suspends, I want to keep calling them bans. They're not bans, they're suspended. Do you think these suspended cards make sense? Do you think that they should still be in play? Do you think Jango Fett is just being targeted because he's a Fett and he's part of the Fett family? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, please be safe out there in that big galactic world of ours, and I'll see you around.